You never forget a lockdown, not a real one. Mine happened in late October senior year at Paulo Burley High School, a quiet suburb just outside Uberland. You'd think nothing scary ever happened there. We were in Mr. Hall's fifth period English class, just days away from homecoming. The usual chatter and phone scrolling filled the room until the intercom suddenly crackled on. Attention all staff and students. This is a code red lockdown. Lock doors immediately. Stay silent. This is not a drill. Without hesitation, Mr. Hall locked the door, pulled the blinds, and killed the lights. We huddled in the back, silent and tense. I counted 16 students. But after a few minutes, I counted again. 17. There was a girl sitting at the edge of the group. Blonde hair, green hoodie, calm as if she belonged there. No one recognized her. Not Katie, not Tyler, not Lily or Brandon. Everyone was confused. Finally, someone asked, "Who are you?" She looked up without flinching. "I'm new, transfer student. Started today." Mr. Hall frowned. "You're not on my roll sheet." She shrugged lightly. Maybe the office forgot to update it. The tension shifted. We stopped worrying about what was outside the door and focused on what was inside. After some silence, she started speaking. "Katie, do you still cry in the upstairs girls' bathroom during third period? Or did that stop after Ms. Jensen left?" Katie's face paled. "Tyler, you cheated on last week's chemistry quiz. Copied from Emily even though you told your dad you studied." Tyler's eyes darted nervously. "Lily, your mom's drinking. Again, isn't she? The night you stayed at Morgan's wasn't a sleepover. The secret's cut deep. Facts no one else could have known." Mr. Hall stood. "Enough. Who are you really?" She fixed him with an unreadable gaze. "Don't you remember?" "Me? 3 years ago I sat right there. You gave me detention for being late. Called home. No one answered." He faltered. "My mom was passed out drunk on the floor. I told you. You wrote me up anyway." A heavy silence fell. Suddenly noises came. From the hallway. Running footsteps. Doors slamming. Distant screams. Mr. Hall tried the door. Locked tight. His key snapped inside the lock. Phones were dead. No signal. No Wi-Fi. The girl stood, walked slowly to the window, and stared out. "This school forgets people like me," she said, voice steady. But I never forgot it. Then, the lights snapped back on. The door was now unlocked, but no one could open it. We tried our phones again. Dead, and just like that, she vanished. No sound. No trace. When the lockdown ended hours later, we were shaken. Katie didn't come back for weeks. Said she heard that girl's voice calling from the bathroom, saw shadows moving in empty halls. Tyler started missing school, claimed he felt eyes watching him constantly. And me? I can't erase her face from my mind. That cold, quiet rage like she carried the whole school's pain inside her. Months later, I found out the school wiped any record of her. No enrollment, no history. The principal called it an administrative error. The police never explained why the lockdown lasted so long without cause. What I know is this. That night changed us all. Now during every lockdown drill, I look toward the empty chair near the window, and I wonder if she's still waiting. I'm sure she is. I graduated last year, but this still haunts me. I went to Alfred High School, a small public school in Cold Cable, around 600 students total. Everyone kind of knew everyone. It was the kind of place where you recognized the faces in the hall, even if you didn't know the names. Our principal, Mr. Halverson, was one of those super formal guys. Polished shoes, suit every day, even on casual Fridays. Always polite, never raised his voice. But something about him made your skin crawl. Like he was always watching, but not really looking at you. It happened on a Tuesday, early October, first period. I was in Mrs. Lynn's English class, front row, trying to stay awake during some Shakespeare passage when the intercom buzzed, sharp and louder than usual. "Attention students and staff. This is a level 3 lockdown. I repeat, level 3. Proceed to protocol. This is not a drill." The air changed immediately. Mrs. Lynn's face went pale. She rushed to lock the door, pull down the blinds, and told us to move to the corner by the bookshelves. No one joked. We all just followed. You know how, in drills, teachers pretend to act calm? She wasn't pretending. Her hands were shaking. She kept peeking through the blinds like she expected something awful to appear any second. 15 minutes passed, then 30. Our phones were useless. No signal. Even Wi-Fi was down. A few kids started to whisper, nervous. That's when we heard the first sound. Footsteps in the hallway. Slow, deliberate, heavy shoes on linoleum. Then, knocking. 3 knocks on our classroom door. Not banging, just controlled, calculated. Mrs. Lynn didn't move. I know you're in there, a voice said. Everything is fine. You're safe. Let me in. It was the principal. We all looked at each other. Mrs. Lynn put her finger to her lips. Then he said something weird. Protocol 11 has been initiated. Your cooperation is required. This is for your safety. Nobody had ever heard of Protocol 11. That's not part of any lockdown drill. The tone of his voice wasn't comforting. It was robotic, like he was reading a script. He moved on to the next door. Knocked. Same message. Over and over, down the hall. An hour passed, then 2. Somewhere in the building someone screamed. A real, blood-curdling scream. Then silence. We stayed huddled, whispering theories. Maybe it was a shooter. Maybe a hostage situation. But the teachers never opened their doors. When it got dark outside, we started to realize no one was coming. That's when Derek, this kid who always acted tough, stood up and said, I'm not sitting here to die. He pulled open the emergency window. We were on the first floor, and slipped out. Mrs. Lynn didn't stop him. She looked relieved, honestly. 10 minutes later, Derek texted me from a Walmart down the street. He said the whole school looked abandoned from the outside. No cops, no tape. The parking lot still full of cars, like nothing was wrong. I texted, back, call 911. He tried. Nothing went through. That's when the intercom came back on. The voice wasn't Halverson this time. It was distorted, like a recording. Rooms 103, 105, and 110 have been secured. Room 112 has failed compliance. That was us. Room 112. Then footsteps again. Running this time. Mrs. Lynn told us all to go out the window one by one. She said she'd distract him. I was the second to last to go. Just before I climbed out, I looked back. She was standing by the door, holding a pair of scissors like a weapon, crying. As I ran across the field behind the school, I looked back and saw the door to our classroom wide open, and Mr. Halverson standing in it. He was holding something. I don't know what. It looked like a syringe, a needle. He wasn't running, just watching us scatter into the dark. The police showed up the next morning. They said it had been a false alarm, some tech glitch in the lockdown system. But that didn't explain the screams. Or the missing students, 3 of them, gone without explanation. Mrs. Lynn never came back. Mr. Halverson, still the principal. Still smiling in the yearbook photos. But we all know the truth. That lockdown wasn't for us. It was against us. I used to go to Couto Miguel High in Fort Beach, class of 2021. It's not a school people talk about often. We didn't have scandals or big games or whatever. Just another aging brick building trying to stay afloat with outdated textbooks and flickering hallway lights. But there's something no one talks about. Maybe they don't remember. Maybe they've chosen not to. It happened during my sophomore year in late November. It was freezing outside, and the heating inside the building was shot. Everyone was bundled up wearing gloves indoors. I was in the gym, dragging my feet through PE, when the alarm hit. Not a fire drill, not a weather alert. Lockdown, immediate lockdown, external threat, follow protocol. You know how these things usually go. Teachers push everyone into corners, lock doors, turn off lights. But this time, Coach Mendez was acting strange. Really strange. He wasn't panicking. He was focused, like he'd been waiting for this. He told me, Emily, and 3 others, Gabe, Leo, and this freshman girl, Mia, to help him grab the emergency supplies from the equipment room. We followed him into the locker hallway, but instead of going to the usual gear closet, he walked to the end, to a wall we all thought was just a concrete back panel. Then he pressed his hand flat against a dusty spot, and a small metal door slid open. None of us had ever seen that before. It was narrow, with rusted hinges and no windows. Coach just said, "It's safer in here. Stay quiet. Do not open the door unless I come back." He shoved us in. Before we could say anything, the door slammed shut behind us. There was no light, only the sound of our own breathing. It smelled like old sweat, metal, and something sour. At first we joked. Nervous laughter. Gabe said it felt like a fallout bunker. Leo tried the door, locked from the outside. But the jokes faded fast. Mia started crying, said something was wrong with the air. It was stale, heavy, like breathing through cloth. We tried our phones, no signal, of course. Emily turned on her flashlight, and that's when we noticed there were scratches on the walls. Dozens of them, fingernail-sized. Some were letters, carved deep into the metal. "Let me out, I hear them." The walls aren't still. We stopped talking. Time got weird in there. No clocks, no noise from outside. No idea how long we'd been sitting. At one point, Leo said he felt something move past his leg, but there was nothing there. Emily started whispering to herself. Gabe stood in the corner, just staring at the metal wall. And then, the whispers started, not from anyone inside, from the room itself. Not even words. Just tones, layered, circling us. Like something very old was watching. I remember freezing in place. My mind blank. Like I was dreaming but awake, and something was scratching just beneath the surface of reality. We started seeing things in the dark. Shapes that flickered when the light hit them. For a moment, I thought I saw myself staring back at me. Eyes blank, like a mirror with a delay. Eventually, I don't know when, the door opened again. It wasn't Coach. It was a man in a white hazmat suit. No markings, no words. He didn't explain, just waved a flashlight in our eyes, like checking for a pulse. We were pulled out one by one. They found us in that room nearly 2 days after the lockdown began. But here's the thing. The school never confirmed there was any lockdown at all. They told the parents it was a misunderstanding, that we'd snuck off during a routine drill, that we panicked. But I've seen the photos, the ones leaked from a student aide who worked the front office. There we were, 5 kids huddled in the corner of a metal room that doesn't exist. On the blueprints. Eyes wide, blank, our skin pale, lips cracked. Emily's hair had gone completely gray. Gabe couldn't speak for weeks. I only remember fragments, whispers, a feeling of being unmade, like something touched us and then put us back wrong. I transferred schools after that. Last I heard, Coach Mendez disappeared the week after. No resignation, no explanation, just gone. But sometimes, late at night, when everything's still, I feel that same pressure in the air, like the room never really let us go.